Barr hits back against President Trump's criticism of the Justice Department. Watch.
I think it's time to stop the tweeting about Department of Justice criminal case. To have public statements and tweets made about the department make it impossible for me to do my job.
President Trump, however, says he was unfazed by the remarks. The White House released a statement reading in part, the president was not bothered by the comments at all, and he has the right, just like any American citizen, to publicly offer his opinions. The president has full faith and confidence in Attorney General Barr to do his job and uphold the law. From Stephanie Grisham at the White House. Joining me right now is Washington Times opinion editor, Fox News contributor, Charles Hurt. Charles, it is always a pleasure. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Your reaction?
This is exactly the way it's supposed to work, I think. President Trump showed great wisdom and great confidence in hiring somebody who is who knows exactly who he is, knows exactly what he's doing as Bill Barr. And Bill Barr is more than happy to express his opinion when he disagrees. And that disagreement being out in the open, I know it's really shocking in Washington for something like this to be out in the open and everybody freaks out. But I view it as being transparent.
I could not be happier with Bill Barr. The fact that he is actually getting to the wrongdoing that took place in 2016, where this cabal of people tried to take down Donald Trump, and then a duly elected president. And all of this is going to take place right before the election. You know that. We're going to get the Durham report before the election. But you got a battle of billionaires right now. Let's talk about. Yeah, go ahead.
What does it say? This is not about Roger Stone being a friend of the president's. It's about the fact that Roger Stone was prosecuted harshly for one reason, and that is because he was involved with the president. That's what I call that a political prosecution. And so it's right that Bill Barr took special care in this case.
Yeah.
And it's right that the president if he has an opinion about it, let it go.
I think it's a little bit of a ploy, and this is my speculation. I want to be clear about that. But Bill Barr has to go in front of the Democratic-controlled House, right? He's agreed to testify. So what does this do? This gets them to back off. This is a message to the Democrats who hate Trump. Oh, I'm pushing back. I'm with you that he overstepped. I don't like the tweets. It kind of eases up, because if those Democrats think, oh, well, Bill Barr, he doesn't like the president either, and we really hate him.
He's one of us, yeah.
He's one of us. What does that do?
Well,
that's my theory.
I like that.
It's a great theory, and it does put Bill Barr in a stronger position, but I'm fairly certain it was not orchestrated, because I think a lot of these public relations, explosions that come out of the White House, I love all of them. I think they're rarely orchestrated or coordinated. I think they just sort of happen.
No, I think that the Barr response, though, is there's a method to
calibrated for sure.
Yes.
Charles, do you think this is foreplay to a pardon, just with respect to Trump kind of feeling out how the reactions are going to be, so that when he pardons, he's kind of like, well, you should have figured out that this was going this way?
I hope so. This is what the pardon was designed for. I also I pray that the president focus on one thing and one thing only, getting reelected. There'll be plenty of time after the election to pardon Roger Stone and anybody else he thinks has been unfairly swept up in these political prosecutions that never should have happened. This is not what goes on, not what's supposed to go on in America.
Is there anybody who you see who could potentially take down Donald Trump in the 2020 election? I mean, you got a battle of billionaires here. Michael Bloomberg and President Trump going at it on Twitter. President Trump tweeted this. Mini Mike Bloomberg is a loser who has money but can't debate and has zero presence. You will see. He reminds me of a tiny version of Jeb Low Energy Bush, but Jeb has more political skill and has treated the black community much better than Mini. The president follows up, tweeting this. Mini Mike is a 5'4" mass of dead energy who does not want to be on the debate stage with these professional politicians. No boxes, please. He hates Crazy Bernie and will, with enough money, possibly stop him. Bernie's people will go nuts. And then Bloomberg responds. So the former mayor responds with this. We know many of the same people in New York. Behind your back, they laugh at you and call you a carnival barking clown. They know you inherited a fortune and squandered it with stupid deals and incompetence. I have the record and the resources to defeat you, and I will.
Ooh.
Wow, the gloves are off.
And it's very entertaining. And Mike Bloomberg has enough money to remain relevant no matter what. But the problem here is that political campaigns have a very good way of sort of revealing sort of who someone is. And Donald Trump is basically, he's who you think he is. He's what people see every day. And I think that, to me, Michael Bloomberg, he's sort of a male version of Elizabeth Warren. He is a central planner. He has all the solutions to all your problems, and he's going to think them through. But he's also kind of a faker. And I think that is going to get revealed. There's no doubt in my mind that President Trump wrote each of those tweets. No doubt in my mind.
No, definitely.
Do you think Mike Bloomberg wrote that? Can you say with 100% confidence that Mike Bloomberg wrote that tweet? I guarantee you he did not write that.
But Mike Bloomberg doesn't think that he's Warren. He thinks that he's the alternative to Biden because Biden's imploding, and he's just this centrist guy. He's the person that, like, your moderate Democrat can vote for.
Is he a moderate?
Right. I would say he's not. I mean, trillions of dollars in new taxes, the way he's talked about the paternalism in New York State.
When people call themselves moderate.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys are not moderate.
When you have everybody so far left, everybody looks moderate. Go ahead, Dig.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to say something about that tweet by Mike Bloomberg, and this goes to the issue of, does he really like people? Because what he said about Donald Trump, about we laugh at you behind your back, well, that's how every voter in this country, across the nation, across the South and the Midwest, feels about the arrogant elite in New York and Washington and on the coast.
The globalists.
That they, they underestimate you because you talk funny. They underestimate you because of where you're from. They don't think that you're ingenious and hardworking. They think you're an idiot rube. And that he kind of revealed himself, I think, in saying that, how people in other parts of this country might perceive this incredibly rich, I know he made it all himself, but he's worth $62 billion, how he feels about other people, like the little man and the little lady. And I don't mean that as in an ugly way. I mean that in a complimentary way.
But you also have this thing where, he spent whatever it was,
more than $100 million last year.
And then 10 years talking about the stop and frisk policy and defending it as saving black lives. And now he's apologizing for it because he's apologizing for having saved black lives, according to him, in order to comply to get the Democratic nomination after he's been a Republican and then an independent. And then, it's that kind of slipperiness. It's that kind of disingenuousness that it gets revealed in a campaign.
Yeah. Well, didn't he call, he was in Greensboro, North Carolina. Didn't he call it Gainsboro, North Carolina? Did he do that? I saw a video. I don't know if that was recent or not, but you only have one job, and that's know where you are.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the black vote, and the support among the black community is rising for President Trump. And Herman Cain yesterday said growing support for Trump among black voters has Democrats terrified because they are walking away from Democrats.
And if this election does nothing but break the nexus between racial identity and people's politics, that would be a very good thing because politicians in Washington are the last industry that openly racially segregates people and sells them different messages and pits them against one another. And it is the most destructive thing that you get out of Washington, and it's really disgusting. And for all of Donald Trump's sort of outrageous, impolitic things that he says. That's the one thing he never does. He talks to everybody as everybody. He doesn't care.
And he says it right there.
Yeah,
he says it straight.
And he will insult everybody, which is also really nice.
Charles, great to get your insights. Thank you. Charles Hurt joining us there. Stay with us. More.